but it is also, based on the numbers, instructive that our base is saying, MP, pull your socks up. When we did some, because you have to know about your opponent, and when we did some checking, that person had been a representative next door. He was our neighbor. And not even with perks, they are not willing to take that person back. So the people of Westmoreland Western, no fool. Venesha Phillips, a member of the Western Westmoreland campaign team, handling communication and canvases for the Morland Wilson campaign in Western Westmoreland. Today was just a part of the party's process to engage the base of the constituency as they would do across constituencies. So Westmoreland Western workers, such as the PD captains, the indoors, the outdoors, the cluster managers, they got an opportunity through a consultative process regarded as the yes-no, where you're asked a single question: are you prepared to continue to support Morland Wilson to be your member of parliament? So essentially, you have the opportunity to say yes, to say no. And the workers today showed up for Morland. Of course, it is not a moment, to gloat, but it is also, based on the numbers, instructive that our base is saying, MP, pull your socks up. But we're aware of what the issues are, and MP is committed to dealing with those issues. So on the indicative vote, Morland Wilson enjoys the support of the base. Remember, these workers represent the voices in their respective divisions. An excellent process, by the way, being utilized by the Jamaica Labour Party. This basically trumps any poll that you can get. This is a real-time sounding. This is what the party needs, not some fake poll somewhere else. This is how you engage with your base to know what the issues are. So that's what it was. It wasn't an election. There was no challenge. It was simply an engagement of the base through a yes-no consultative process. The ones you carry in the media all the time, like the pain points in terms of roads, which our Prime Minister has ably addressed, and that is why, of course, the Spark and Reach programs are in implementation mode. And so already we have started to experience the reach in Westmoreland. So you've seen patching taking place in Negril and in Friendship and other parts of the constituency, and that will continue. The areas designated for Spark, we are just awaiting implementation, and so of course very, very soon the residents of Westmoreland Western, after 30 odd years of PNP mismanagement, is going to be singing hallelujah because their roads, which is their biggest, by the way, pain point, will be addressed by this administration under MP Morland Wilson.
So the roads are bigger than the water as an issue?
Can I tell you? Because they're aware of the Negril pipeline expansion program. Some persons have already started to experience, water coming through their pipes after a long time. The issues are still there because, this is a process that will take some time as it is phased in. And so they appreciate it. Yes, they're tired because they've waited for decades. But they understand that our administration is committed to ensuring that we alleviate this problem for good. And so they're willing to exercise some amount of patience. Of course, you hear the requests for the black tanks, to stop the gap until. But what it requires is more engagement by our MP to ensure that our residents are kept in touch with what is happening in terms of the currency of the information, so that they don't get annoyed when they have to wait for any protracted period in terms of water. But yeah, the roads are actually coming up as number one. Can I tell you, with Morland Wilson, what you see is what you get. He appears to be a docile character, but he isn't. Not everyone is loud, and you really don't have to be loud to be heard. Morland Wilson is actually effective. And by the way, he has not been given his roses enough, because remember, he created history. Because this, since 1980, I believe, is the first time that the Jamaica Labour Party has had a representative of their own in Western Westmoreland, when most of Jamaicans, and especially the PNP, said that Western Westmoreland, and Westmoreland in particular, is PNP country. Morland Wilson in 2020 spoke to Jamaica in a resounding way to say absolutely not. He stood on the shoulders of the people of Western Westmoreland. They entrusted him with their support. And today, the workers showed up to say, we are still with you, but we need the services that we've waited for over 3 decades. There's no time for complacency. It is now time for us to deepen the engagement. The MP is aware of that, and he's committed to that. Not a man of many words, he's a man of action. And that is what the people of Jamaica actually requires, and the people of Westmoreland have that in Morland Wilson. Actually, I don't know, because I've been working on canvases, and so because it is not a process that is controversial, it is actually an excellent process that I support and love, because I believe, and if you know me, you know that I believe that the base must be continuously engaged. So I think that this is a wonder product of the Jamaica Labour Party that must be continued. The democratic process in divisions in this way, because if you look at how it was done, there was a station in each division, so they had the opportunity to express their voices in this kind of a way. So it is an excellent method. Third term is loading. Morland Wilson will be numbered in the third term count in the parliament. I never got that in any of my canvas, but can I tell you something? And one of the things you have to appreciate about representational politics, and I've been there, is that we have to devise a strategy, and this is a good part of that strategy, how we engage the base. Because I'll tell you this, when you can go house to house during an election period, when you set aside time for it, if you're a member of parliament or even a sitting council, it's absolutely difficult to be able to do that. And in a constituency as big as this one, and you know just how big this is, because just to get from Jail to probably Negril could take you anywhere up to 45 minutes. And so you have to be able to appreciate that the engagement process has to be refined. So if there were persons as such, I am sure we will be pulling out all the stops to ensure that we find them and that we express or disappointment that we had not reached out to them at the appropriate time, but that we will devise a strategy to ensure continued communication. It is a work in progress, not related to here, but in general in our political frame. Because if you listen across Jamaica sometimes, we tend to hear people say, oh, the politicians never come back to say thank you. Certainly in respect of this demonstration this afternoon, as we go through the divisions, the thank yous will be had, and we will settle those issues that came up in our canvases. When we did some, because you have to know about your opponent, and when we did some checking, that person had been a representative next door. He was our neighbor, and not even with perks, they are not willing to take that person back. So the people of Westmoreland and Western, no fool. We have in our MP a dynamic young man, a brilliant young man, a first-time MP and one of the youngest we have on our parliamentary benches. And so he is learning as he is growing. And certainly you will see that manifested in the work and the demonstration of his leadership. We're not concerned about the other people, because the other people are rolling stones. I mean, they used to be next door and they can't go back home. So they find themselves over here, but we have no room in this inn.
Thank you very much for coming out today. And I'm very pleased that you decided to participate in this sounding by the Jamaica Labour Party.